The following program is closed captioned for the thinking impaired.
Oh, I can't fight this feeling any longer, and yet I'm still afraid to let it flow. What started out as friendship has grown stronger. I only wish I had the strength to let it show. I tell myself that I can't hold out forever. I said there is no reason for my fear, 'cause I feel so secure when we're together. You give my life direction, you make everything so clear. Even as I wander, I'm keeping you in sight. You're a candle in the window on a cold, dark winter's night. And I'm getting closer than I ever thought I might. And I can't fight this feeling anymore. I've forgotten what I started fighting for. It's time to bring this ship into the shore. Throw away the oars forever, 'cause I can't fight this feeling anymore. I've forgotten what I started fighting for. And if I have to crawl upon the floor, come crashing through your door, baby, I can't fight this feeling anymore. My life has been such a whirlwind since I saw you. I've been running around in circles in my mind, and it always seems that I'm following you, girl, 'cause you take me to the places that alone I'd never find. Even as I wander, I'm keeping you in sight. You're a candle in the window on a cold, dark winter's night. And I'm getting closer than I ever thought I might. And I can't fight this feeling anymore. I've forgotten what I started fighting for. It's time to bring this ship into the shore. Throw away the oars forever, 'cause I can't fight this feeling anymore. I've forgotten what I started fighting for. And if I have to crawl upon the floor, come crashing through your door, baby, I can't fight this feeling anymore. I can't fight this feeling anymore. I've forgotten what I started fighting for. And if I have to crawl upon the floor, come crashing through your door, baby, I can't fight this feeling anymore.
The following program is closed captioned for the thinking impaired.
We're shooting the dinghy like cool jazz, my friend. Grab your popcorn, the fun never ends. From all this tale from facts absurd. Every episode you'll hang on every word. He's got stories that'll make you grin. From the depths of bizarre, just dive in. Laugh so hard you'll fall off your seat. The kind of show that can't be beat. Ship the dookie, it's a wild ride. Join Blue Janice and let your worries slide. Every crazy moment's a delight. Tune in now, fetch your day right. Tune in the dookie, it's to break no rules. Janice has the scoop you never heard. Every single show gets more absurd. When you need a break and a big old grin, new Janice is the guy who draws you in. For the stories odd and laughter bright, subscribe and listen every night. Shooting the dookie, it's a wild ride. Join new Janice and that show while we slide. Every crazy moment's a delight. Tune in and now we'll set your day right. From the tallest tales to craziest news, we take no prism that you break no rules. Janice has the scoop you never heard. Every single show gets more absurd. Tune in the dookie to wild ride. Join who Janice and let your worries side. Every crazy moment's a delight. Tune in now, we'll set your day right. Right.
All right, yo, Hugh Janus, and this is Shooting the Dookie with me, Hugh Janus. Just bored. I didn't know what to do. I'm kind of, I don't know, trying to decide what I really want to do. Figure I'd just throw one of these up and see what the hell goes on. What's up there, Facts Porcupine Podcast? How you doing there? Man, I don't know. Just kind of winging it. Trying to get into the swing of things. Kind of sucks I don't have a co-host right now, but you know what? Yeah, eventually. So, yeah, no, I don't know. Just, yeah, trying to see if anybody actually, I don't know, see, maybe somebody might join. Have to see what happens. So, I don't know. Yeah, I make stupid ass songs, and yeah, that's about it. How about yeah, I don't know. I'm bored. I'm just gonna play another song. This one I titled "Breaking Wind in the Free World." So.
Train, but my gut had lied. Tried to keep it quiet, but the sound was loud. Now I'm the center of attention in the coffee crowd. Breaking wind, oh yeah, I'm tearing the air. Silent but deadly, it's a natural affair. Cutting the cheese, it's a gas I can't fight. Better hold your breath, cause I'm blowing tonight. At the family dinner, thought I'd slip one by, but it crept out slowly like a stealthy spy. Uncle Bob's face turned green and Sue took a dive. My little brother yelled, that's why I'm alive. Breaking wind, oh yeah, I'm tearing the air. Silent but deadly, it's a natural affair. Cutting the cheese, it's a gas I can't fight. Better hold your breath, cause I'm blowing tonight. At the family dinner, thought I'd slip one by, but it crept out slowly like a stealthy spy. Uncle Bob's face turned green and Sue took a dive. My little brother yelled, that's why I'm alive. Breaking wind, oh yeah, I'm tearing the air. Silent but deadly, it's a natural affair. Cutting the cheese, it's a gas I can't fight. Better hold your breath, cause I'm blowing tonight. At the family, a little methane melody from deep inside me. An organic orchestra, let's set it free. Oh, I don't need no beans, I don't need no brew. Just give me one burrito and I'll clear the room. In the mosh pit tonight, I let one fly. The crowd split in half like the Red Sea, my God. The bass player fainted, the drummer lost the beat. My flatulent solo brought him to the beat. Breaking wind, oh yeah, I'm tearing the air. Silent but deadly, it's a natural affair. cheese, it's a gas I can't fight. Better hold your breath, cause I'm blowing tonight. Breaking wind, oh yeah, I'm tearing the air. Silent but deadly, it's a natural affair. Cutting the cheese, it's a gas I can't fight. Better hold your breath, cause I'm blowing tonight. Excuse me, popped up the wind and the freeway. Yeah! We're breaking land in the free world.
All right. Yeah, that's one of the boring things I do. I don't know. Video gamer, so I hate when sweaty players try and like bust your ass on there. So yeah, why not? Sweaty players suck.
In the heat of battle, we drop from the sky. Fingers twitching, elbows high. Sweaty palms, control is so. Victory's the punchline, only pros have joked. Loot and scoot hit the ground fast. Snipers lurking, adrenaline blast. Shield cells pumping, hearts are racing. In this chaos we are chasing. Sweaty players dodging storms. Hiding in bushes, shifting forms. Building castles high as can be. Dancing on enemies' debris. Legends breathing heavy, they got no chill. Spamming grenades, they've got the skill. Ammo low, but spirits high. In this match, no one wants to die. Ping the spots where danger lies. Revive and reboot friends that try. It's all good in this wild ride. Getting clutch brings comet pride. Sweaty players dodging storms. Hiding in bushes, shifting forms. Building castles high as can be. Dancing on enemies' debris. Legends breathing heavy, they've got no chill. Spamming grenades, they've got the skill. Ammo low, but spirits high. In this match, no one wants to die. Ping the spots where danger lies. Revive and reboot friends that try. It's all good in this wild ride. Getting clutch brings comet pride. Sweaty players dodging storms. Hiding in bushes, shifting forms. Building castles high as can be. Dancing on enemies' debris. Dancing on enemies' debris.
Yeah. Oh boy. Huh. Oh, somebody's typing to me in Discord. Okay. But yeah, I don't know. Let's see. How about a song about a cheeseburger?
I want a cheeseburger. What? I'm hungry for a cheeseburger. What? Sitting at home, bored out of my head, watching TV and something was said, talking about this bar, a real hole in the wall. Then in my mind I hear that call. That greasy ass meat, all covered in cheese. Ketchup and mustard, just enough to please. Bacon and a pickle, that's all it's got. Damn, that burger will hit the spot. Cheeseburger. What? I need a cheeseburger. What? It comes with an order of fries. Think I'm gonna get the double size. Here comes the bartender. I order my meal, it's only $7.99, man, that's a great deal. I order a beer as I sit and wait. My food is coming out, I can see the plate. Cheeseburger. What? I need a cheeseburger. What? double size. 2 whole pounds all covered in cheddar. Nothing else could make this taste better. I finished my food, my knees feel weak. I definitely will be back next week. Cheeseburger! What? I need a cheeseburger! What? It comes with an order of fries. Think I'm gonna get the double size. So good! Maybe next time I'll try the triple!
Yeah. All right. Nothing like a good ass cheeseburger. More food related. How about this? Tacos and true love.
I was driving down the highway, radio on low, when the scent of tortillas took me where I had to go. Pulled into that roadside stand, it felt just like a dream. Saw you slinging salsa in your faded blue jeans. Your smile was spicing up my day. One bite and I was swept away. I've got a love for tacos and it's all wrapped up in you. From the smoky barbacoa to that fiery salsa too. Every bite's a little magic, every glance just pulls me in. My heart's as full as my plate's been since the moment you walked in. Now Friday nights are sacred, it's our weekly taco date. Soft shells, a crunchy girl, they always taste so great. We laugh and share a cold one while the stars light up the sky. With you beside me, it's a feast money just can't buy. Your love's my favorite recipe. Tacos and you are all I need. I've got a love for tacos and it's all wrapped up in you. From the smoky barbacoa to that fiery salsa too. Every bite's a little magic, every glance just pulls me in. My heart's as full as my plate's been since the moment you walked in. Some folks find love in fancy things, but mine's in tacos and diamond rings. As long as you're my spicy muse, I'll take carne asada and say I do. I've got a love for tacos and it's all wrapped up in you. From the smoky barbacoa to that fiery salsa too. Every bite's a little magic, every glance just pulls me in. My heart's as full as my plate's been since the moment you walked in. So let's keep the tacos coming and the love forever true. 'Cause there's nothing in this whole wide world as perfect as me and you.
I definitely need to add more songs. Oh, add music, can I? Oh, hey, hold on. Upload. Let's see. Oh, wait, no. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna have to see. Was it gonna let me? Oh yeah, okay, I can do it right from here. Cool. No, that's Serena. No, no. Oh, I wonder. Hmm. Uh. Hmm. No, I definitely need to make some more songs or download more of my stuff. Okay, cancel that. Let's see. How about? Uh, hmm. Wait, hold on. Let's see something. Did I put that in here already? I might have. Uh, Here we go. A little bit of a cover from Steve Miller. Steve Miller Band. Little jet airliner.
Leaving home, out on the road. I've been down before, riding along on this big old jet plane. I've been thinking about my home, but my love life seems so far away, and I feel like it's all been done. Somebody's trying to make me stay. You know I got to be moving on. Oh, big old jet airliner, don't carry me too far away. Oh, big old jet airliner, 'cause it's here that I've got to stay. Goodbye to all my friends at home. Goodbye to people I've trusted. I've got to go out and make my way. I might get rich, you know I might get busted, but my heart keeps calling me backwards as I get on the 707. Riding high, I got tears in my eyes. You know you got to go through hell before you get to heaven. Big old jet airliner, don't carry me too far away. Oh, big old jet airliner, 'cause it's here that I've got to stay. Goodbye to all my friends at home. Goodbye to people I've trusted. I've got to go out and make my way. I might get rich, you know I might get busted, but my heart keeps calling me backwards as I get on the 707. Riding high, I got tears in my eyes. You know you got to go through hell before you get to heaven. Big old jet airliner, don't carry me too far away. Oh, big old jet airliner, 'cause it's here that I've got to stay. Touching down in New England town, feel the heat coming down. I've got to keep on keeping on. You know the big wheel keeps on spinning around, and I'm going with some hesitation. You know that I can surely see that I don't want to get caught up in any of that funky shit going down in the city. Oh, big old jet airliner, don't carry me too far away. Oh, big old jet airliner, 'cause it's here that I've got to stay. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, another one. Why not? What do we want to do here? Yeah, here we go. Little cover of Boston.
Oh, I can't fight this feeling any longer. And yet I'm still afraid to let it flow. What started out as friendship has grown stronger. I only wish I had the strength to let it show. I tell myself that I can't hold out forever. I said there is no reason for my fear, 'cause I feel so secure when we're together. You give my life direction. You make everything so clear. Even as I wander, I'm keeping you in sight. You're a candle in the window on a cold, dark winter's night. And I'm getting closer than I ever thought I might. And I can't fight this feeling anymore. I've forgotten what I started fighting for. It's time to bring this ship into the shore. Throw away the oars forever, 'cause I can't fight this feeling anymore. I've forgotten what I started fighting for. And if I have to crawl upon the floor, come crashing through your door, baby, I can't fight this feeling anymore. My life has been such a whirlwind since I saw you. I've been running around in circles in my mind, and it always seems that I'm following you, girl, 'cause you take me to the places that alone I'd never find. Even as I wander, I'm keeping you in sight. You're a candle in the window on a cold, dark winter's night. And I'm getting closer than I ever thought I might. And I can't fight this feeling anymore. I've forgotten what I started fighting for.
Wow, I didn't even realize I was playing the wrong song. Huh. Well, ain't that a bit of a bitch? Um, yeah. Here we go. Play this and then I'm done. Ain't nobody listening anyway, so learn to drive, bitches.
Switching tires and blinding lights, you're a danger on these nights. Learn to drive from hell in Keller, can't you hear the engines yellow? Red lights flash and you just fly. Slow the fuck down, don't make me cry. Road rage boiling, I'm losing my mind. You're the worst driver I can find. Learn to fucking drive, it's not that hard. But tell the fucking phone, you're on guard. Chaos reigns with every turn. In this metal hell, let's watch you burn. Tailgating like you're in a race, screaming curses, I can't keep pace. Break chat, you're playing with fire. Every move just fuels my ire. Swerving lanes like a drunken fool. You're the reason I'm losing my cool. Road rage boiling, it's hard to cope. You're a hazard, no chance of hope. Learn to fucking drive, it's not that hard. But tell the fucking phone, you're on guard. Chaos reigns with every turn. In this metal hell, let's watch you burn. Learn to fucking drive, it's not that hard. But tell the fucking phone, you're on guard. Chaos reigns with every turn. In this metal hell, let's watch you burn. Let's watch you burn. It's a game, you're playing with fate. Every second wasted, it's driving me straight into madness. This road's a tomb with your reckless moves. You'll seal my doom. Learn to fucking drive, it's not that hard. Put down the fucking phone, you're on guard. Chaos reigns with every turn. In this metal hell, let's watch you burn. Let's watch you burn. Let's watch you burn. So heed my warning, take it to heart. Slow the fuck down, don't tear us apart. In this twisted metal, we'll fight to survive. For the love of God, learn to fucking drive. Let's watch you burn. 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 Let's watch you burn.
Yeah, I'm bored. I was playing some music, just fine tuning some stuff. I don't know. I haven't really talked much about anything. Hey, if you want to call in, Eric, feel free. Oh, yep, there he is.
How's your weekends been,
There he
Q?
is. What's happening?
I don't have a whole lot. I'm sitting in my kitchen. I'm just running the dishwasher, washing up some dirty dishes.
Hmm. Yeah, well,
Yeah,
yeah, well, they got to get done.
well, I know tomorrow afternoon I'll be, going over to a friend's place to, help him like mow his backyard since, he's not really where he can be, using his push mower, and he has stitches on his left arm where that like
Oh.
dermatologist had to remove some like skin cancer growth, but it's nothing
Ooh.
too serious, and
Yeah.
and luckily he caught it early.
Oh, yeah, no doubt. Hopefully, yeah.
Well, he's
That's
real
kind of scary.
susceptible to it from like all the years he lived in Florida, and
Oh,
he's
all the sunlight, melanoma, and
yeah
all that
the
stuff.
sun damage, yeah.
Right, right. Yeah.
Well, then like actress Joan Collins, the reason why you always see her wearing those big brim hats when she's outdoors,
Mm-hmm.
she doesn't want like sunlight hitting her face.
Right.
I guess part of the reason why she wants to stay so young, looking at like 92 years old in June.
I know.
And then
Gee,
Carol
yeah.
Burnett just had her 92nd birthday today too. I
Mm-hmm.
noticed.
Right. Well, that's the thing. You look at some of these women and just the way they age. These older celebrities, and and
Sophia
and
Loren has aged beautifully.
yeah, you know who's also aged beautifully, and I still have a big ass crush on her, even though she's in her 70s, is Linda Carter.
Oh, nice.
Yes. Oh, she looks
And
amazing.
then Allison Hannigan, you probably know her from How I Met Your Mother and Buffy the Vampire
Yeah,
Slayer.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, she's like a couple years younger than you are, but you would probably swear she looks like she's in her late 20s, early 30s.
Yeah, I know. I don't
And
know
then you
what
have
it
some men
is.
who have aged beautifully too, like James Lipton, who died at 93 years old a couple years ago. I mean,
Yeah.
he maintained a youthful appearance,
Hmm. Well, that's like the one that I always think about is Paul Rudd. That man does not age.
and he's probably already in his early 50s right about now,
Um,
or
maybe
late
I think
40s.
so. I don't know. I think yeah. I think maybe he's in his 50s. Hold on, let me look. So, JD areas. He is 2 years older than me. So
Oh,
he is. Well, he just turned 56.
wow.
So yeah. But that man does looks like he doesn't age.
And I was also pleasantly surprised to learn a few weeks ago that actor Hector Elizondo was older than my grandmother, my mom's mother, born in
Really?
1936.
Oh
But
wow.
I mean, I could swear he looks like he's a lot younger than that.
Hmm. Wow. Yeah. Um. Yeah. That's wow. Um, yeah, no, it's just, some people they just, I mean, you see some people, and then like these people who get the plastic surgery to try and improve their looks, and then it goes. I mean, Mickey Rourke looks rough for after everything he's had, like with the plastic
Plastic surgery
surgery
was
and all that
probably
stuff.
not for him.
No, Yeah, yeah, no. But yeah, it's just crazy, just some people, it's I don't know, it's got to be, it's all genetic, when you look at some of these people. And it's just like some are just like look great and some just do not age gracefully. I don't know.
I know, right?
I mean, I've been very fortunate. I mean, I will be, because I will be 54 in a few months. And you know but at least, I mean, I don't like have like tons of freaking wrinkles and whatever. And I still have actually a full head of hair, well, actually a lot of hair on my head. But um yeah, it's
Well, I'm like a salt and pepper on
and
the
that
on the front of my hair, and then
well, yeah. Right. Well, like I've got like gray streaks coming in on the sides, around, like right around where my temples are. And then my facial hair, most of it, like my mustache, is still, it's like a really lightish brown, because of, like, as I got older. But the rest of my beard is like white. So I mean, I've been mistaken for Santa Claus. So, but
yeah,
yeah, just
I think like the Santa Claus look. I mean, you expect like white hair and like heavy set guy wearing glasses.
right. Well, I'm not so heavy set. I still wear glasses, but it's just like, because my normal everyday job as medical transport driver. There was a girl who actually uh, would the first time she saw me, and went to go pick her and her mom and her brother up. And she goes in, she comes out and she sees me sitting in the van. And then she runs back in, grabs her mom, and pulls her outside. And she goes, "Mom, look, it's Santa." And she actually asked me if I was Santa. Yeah. And she's like, "Oh, do you like know, like, the Tooth Fairy and the Easter Bunny?" And I said, "Oh yeah, we all hang out. We go down to Cancun for a month, and you know, and enjoy the nice warm air." And she's like, "Oh." And and then she was asking me all these questions. She's like, "Well, how come your hair's not white?" I said, "Well," and I explained it to her, that I'm not the only Santa Claus, that there are other people, other guys, other men who get the job of being Santa as well, so we can deliver all the presents. And it, like the week before Christmas, my hair will turn gray or turn white, and then I'll gain some weight. And she looks at me and she just goes, "That makes sense." I
Mhm.
mean, yeah. And now she's like in high school, and because this is a few years ago. But yeah, now she's all in high school, and kind of like, she's like, just kind of like the last time I saw her, she's just like, "Oh, hey." So what? No high Santa for me? And she's like, "Eh." I was like, "Ah, teenagers." Oh, so it's new with you there, Eric.
Well, I'm just about ready for the month of April to be over. I know that's only just 4 days away, of course.
Yeah. Well.
Well, then I was just watching a YouTube short video like the other day. On the subject of celebrities, they did like some short videos like on what a
Mhm.
live action cast of the Nickelodeon show Jimmy Neutron Boy Genius would look like, and when they got to Jimmy's dad Hugh Neutron,
Yeah.
and just something about the live action version of Hugh Neutron that
Hmm.
just screamed Jason Sudeikis. That if they did a live action Jimmy Neutron
Yeah.
movie, Jason
Right.
Sudeikis would be perfect as Jimmy's dad.
Right. Well, that's like back in the day when they were talking about casting the first X-Men movie. And a bunch of us were all sitting around, like trying to think, hey, who would be perfect for these characters? And none of the characters, except for one, were we right on. And that was for Professor Xavier, which was Patrick
Patrick
Stewart.
Stewart.
Right.
I mean,
Because
they
he's
nailed that one perfectly.
Oh yeah, I agree. Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
and they still to this day have not did a live action adaptation of the Jetsons, and you know, and of course Danny DeVito hands down would be perfect for the role of Cosmo Spacely.
Yo, Mr. Spacely, yes. Yes.
But the guy's like in his early 80s. But my only like backup option if DeVito is not available, would be Warwick Davis, and best known as Professor Flitwick from the Harry
Right,
Potter
right.
movies.
Oh,
And
he was also Wicket the Ewok for Return of the Jedi.
oh yeah, like when he
When,
was
a
when
kid,
he
when he was a little
yeah,
kid.
because
Yeah.
well he has that dwarfism condition.
Yeah, right, right.
I don't know if Spacely was written as having that or not.
No. No, he was just short, but no, Danny DeVito, see, he'd be a good cast, he'd be a good casting choice for that.
Well, and of course, in Spacely's wife, why not give it to his real life estranged wife, Rhea Perlman?
mm, yeah.
And I think the roles of like George and Jane would be Steve Carell and Julianne Moore, but we know they're not getting any younger.
Mm, eh.
And as for the maid
Well,
Rosie,
they a little bit of CGI, maybe a little bit if like I think no, Steve Carell I could see as George Jetson. Um, Julianne Moore, yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah,
but
yeah, I
but
could
I
see it.
think, and then Rosie, their robot maid.
Yeah,
I initially thought maybe Doris Roberts would or
well,
Debbie Reynolds would be perfect for that role, but they're not with us anymore.
right. Yeah, yeah, that would be a tough one. Hmm.
Um, like I can't think of like an older actress who would be perfect for that role. Joan Plowright, she's also gone. Shoot. Um, I can't picture Helen Mirren in that role. Maybe Vanessa Redgrave, but does she have a like a soothing sounding voice?
Right. Well, you got to remember, Rosie wasn't really like that soothing. She had a bit of a rough edge to her voice,
Yeah, that is true. I mean,
So, I mean, and, because it would more or less be CGI being with voiceover, um, God. Look at what they've done with voiceover with CGI characters. Like you look at Gollum, Andy Serkis. I mean, just the way look. I mean, look at him. He, you know, he, he did just putting his voice to Gollum. It's just you know,
yeah.
that's the one thing I like about voice actors because when you voice a character, there's no preconceived way you have to look. I mean, you could go in and record your lines in your goddamn pajamas. You could sit around in your underwear in a big beanbag chair eating Cheetos, and record your lines, you know.
Well, and I know some voice actors, to try to make the like when it comes to like animated movies or if
Mhm.
their faces and bodies are not seen in the movies,
Mhm.
they'll like resort to like behind the scenes antics in their
Oh yeah.
recordings, like if they're talking to like an animal, it's like they will have an animal like in the studio or like on the other side of the plexiglass that they could see, and
Right.
to try to give it some like a realistic sound to it, and
Right. Well,
it's basically they're putting on like a
Mhm.
performance in order to get the audience to listen to them.
Right. Well, that's like, like one of the greatest voice actors of like, that's still actively working is Frank Welker. And Frank Welker, because he did the voice for he does the voice for
Oh
he took
yeah, a
over
lot
the
of animated
voicing for
characters.
Freddy from Fred from Scooby Doo. He also does Scooby Doo.
Hmm.
Um, he does the voice of Megatron from Transformers from the original series. Um, and just his like and like other voice actors like Rob Paulson. I mean that man was Pinky from Pinky and the Brain, him and Maurice LaMarche. I mean Maurice LaMarche, I mean, him and Frank Welker, like they like do like realistic animal sounds
Hmm.
that sound just like like you get you need a dog and they'll oh yeah, Mel Blanc, yeah, see,
Mel Blanc, he was a legend.
yeah, and some of
Some
these
of them could
guys come out
realistically
now.
do, yeah. Some of them could realistically do like vocalized sounds that
Hmm.
otherwise would be reserved for a Foley artist.
Right. Well, I mean, unless you're Michael Winslow, Mister, I do
True.
all kinds of voices.
And who was that one actor who was in that Police Academy movie? He could vocalize sounds with his voice, and
It
oh,
was Michael
he was just
Winslow.
oh, that's him.
Yeah, that's
And,
Michael
and I know
Winslow.
he
Yeah.
passed away a few years ago. Did he not?
No, Michael
Or is he
Winslow?
still
No,
alive?
he's still alive. He's still alive, as far as I know. Let me find out. Um,
I know Mel Blanc. He's been gone since 1989, and I think among his final performances were like the Jetsons. The movie was an animated movie in 1990, and he had died a year prior. But I think he
hmm
had completed most of his work, and him and George O'Hanlon had died about the same time.
hmm Yeah, no, yeah, Michael Winslow's still alive. He's 66. Um, and you know him from Police Academy as Jones, and then he's in
Oh, he was
Spaceballs.
really funny in those movies.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. And yeah, they call him the man of 10,000 sound effects. I mean,
I
uh,
mean, he could of course like I like that scene in the patrol car where he put like the little radio thing up to his mouth and he sounded
the machine
like a
gun.
gun that was shooting,
Yeah. Yeah.
and it
Yeah.
got people to get away from the car.
Right. Right. Yeah. Yeah, yeah. Oh God, yeah. No, just or like when he was doing the fight with those guys, and he was doing. I mean, I hate to do the stereotyping thing, but he did the stereotyping where he's like, oh, you want to fight? Fight me! And he was moving his lips different from what his voice sounded like. He was doing like being an English voiceover, or like when they dub something in English from another country.
Hmm.
So, um,
Because yeah, I mean, like I've seen that in a couple of movies, like where to us it sounds like they're speaking English, but the actor in question probably doesn't even know a lick of English, and you could tell by watching like the lip syncing.
well, yeah. Well, what they try like with animated stuff, what they do is they try and keep the dialogue as close to the best translation that they can, but they try to match it with. They actually have the person doing the voice will look at their character, and as they move the animated mouth moves, they'll try and copy, to make it look like they're trying to talk just like they are in the
Mhm.
animated stuff. Um,
I've
but
seen like modern day animation techniques where they will probably CGI the actor,
mhm.
to kind of give like the artist like a realistic feel of the act of like
Well,
the
yeah, no,
character,
but that's motion capture. Yeah, like mocap.
but
Yeah, like
or it might be kind of like a hybrid version because if you look at the
right,
Little Mermaid, for example, like Jodie
right.
Benson voiced
Mhm,
Ariel, but like
mhm,
the physical likeness of Ariel was inspired by Alyssa Milano.
mhm.
Pat Carroll was voiced Ursula, but Ursula's you know physical design was based off of Divine.
Oh, divine. Yeah, right.
Hmm.
Yeah, I mean, it's
But
just but and these people, a lot of people, they think of like, they'll see an actor on TV or they'll see somebody in a movie, but they don't realize that a lot of these actors actually, do a lot of voiceover stuff. You look at like Mark Hamill. What is he most
hmm
famous for?
Joker in the animated Batman,
Well, yeah, but he's
and
Luke
he's famous for
Skywalker.
Luke Skywalker in Star
Right.
Wars.
Right. He's Luke Skywalker, but yeah, he's voiced the Joker, um what's
He's been
he
in like
does
a couple other
another.
movies too.
Yeah, he's done like Fire Lord Ozaku from The Last
The Night the Lights Went
Airbender.
Out in Georgia.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, and oh no, speaking of Mel Blanc, I still think it's funny that the only time I had ever seen Mel Blanc in an actual live action role, there was a small scene in the movie. It was 80s movie with Dave Thomas and Rick Moranis, Strange Brew, based on their
Oh,
characters
nice.
from SCTV. And you had a role where they walk into their parents' room and their parents are like having sex, and the father was Mel Blanc, and you saw his actual face. He's like saying something like "shut the goddamn door," and or something like that. And yeah, but it was funny as hell. Uh,
Well,
It's kind of
and
like I'm trying to
and
think
I
of the
know like
movie.
his like normal talk voice when he wasn't in character of I think it kind of sounded almost similar to some of his characters, and plus
Right.
he also had a smoking habit that
Mhm.
gave him that distinct sound.
Right. Well, when he talked, it kind of sounded like the voice he used for,
True.
characters. You know, like for Yosemite Sam, it was kind of, I would assume, was kind of close to his actual voice, just a little
Hmm.
less gruff and a little more soft spoken. Trying to think of who else. But yeah, no, like you look at people, like some of like my favorite shows you get, like animated stuff like G.I. Joe. Um like the lead character Duke was voiced by a voice actor named Michael Bell, and but um he did the voice of Duke for G.I. Joe, but like he also did stuff for Transformers at the same time. He was Prowl, um, one of the Constructicons. I can't remember which one, but I mean, these guys, but they get a lot of freaking work. Like you look at, um, like if you think like Boy Meets World, Will Friedle. I mean, he went from doing, Boy Meets World, and then he went right into doing animation, as he was the character of Terry McGinnis, who became the new version of Batman under Bruce in
Batman
Batman
Beyond.
Beyond. I mean, people always have that argument. They're like, oh, Michael Keaton, he's the best Batman. Oh, you know,
You know what would have
Jack
the
Nicholson was
Batman?
the best Joker.
Hmm.
To me, the best Batman will always be, um, oh shit, I can't remember his goddamn name, but no, but my favorite Joker will always be Mark Hamill, and Kevin Conroy will always be my Batman. Because
Um, I mean, I think of like that Batman movie franchise. Had they not, shifted the direction to where Joel Schumacher made it real campy, and
mm,
Tim Burton stayed on, and Batman continued to have kind of like the dark tone to it. Like
right.
I know that I think Burton had expressed interest in bringing Billy D. Williams back in the Harvey Dent Two Face role,
Mm,
and I think there he wanted like Robin Williams for the Riddler,
mm,
and I think I I would imagine he might have originally wanted maybe like River Phoenix for the role of Dick Grayson and Robin, but
yeah.
since River Phoenix died, I think there was speculation of it being like Marlon Wayans or maybe River's brother Joaquin or
Mm.
but I
Yeah,
mean
I don't
there was
think
like a YouTube.
Joaquin would have been good for that role.
Well,
But
that's true too,
yeah.
but there was like a lesser known like child teen actor from the Sandlot and Mighty Ducks series named Michael Vitar, who would probably
Hmm.
been perfect for that role. Um, and then like, but the Batman Forever would not have been called Batman Forever; it would have been called Batman Continues.
Yeah. Well, I mean, when they moved on, and then they came out with the Dark Knight, or the Batman Begins. Now
Yeah,
I
well, like with
like,
Chris Nolan.
well, yeah, with Christian Bale as Bruce Wayne slash Batman.
Hmm.
I think
Like
because
kind of like a prequel story, in other words.
well, yeah, how he became, how he became Batman and stuff. I liked his. I mean, don't get me wrong, I love Michael Keaton, but Christian Bale's Batman is more
I
accurate to
mean,
the comics.
he did a really good job. I
The
mean,
only thing I didn't like was the overly gravelly voice.
yeah, but well, then even though Christian Bale's a good actor, I know people who who are really like familiar with him as a person will point out that he's not exactly a nice person,
Well,
but that but you could be a great actor and not be a nice person.
right. Oh yeah. I mean, just because somebody acts very well, and you don't have to always agree with like their with how they act or what they do, because like you know like and like Tom Cruise, if you take it, like, yeah, he's big into Scientology. And I think that's just like, a bunch of, like psycho nut jobs pretending to be a church. But I love the movies that he does, the Mission Impossible movies.
Hmm.
The what's
Top
that? Oh,
Gun.
well, yeah, Top Gun movies were good. The one he did with Emily Blunt, I can't remember the name. I just remember the line was "Live, die, repeat." Hold on, let me look. Um, just because you don't agree with somebody, like either you don't like how they're religiously or
Or their politics,
politically.
and
Well, yeah,
yeah,
and
or how they overall like just treat people in everyday life.
right,
Unless it's something like that's ungodly, that
right,
you'd be like, hold on, that just crossed the line.
right. I mean, let's see, where is it? See, like, um, I loved the movie Minority Report. That was a good movie. Tropic Thunder with him as Les Grossman when he was
Hmm.
doing the dancing thing.
Eyes Wide Shut with his then wife Nicole Kidman. That was said to be
Hmm.
really good.
Yeah. There's movies that weren't uh really that good that he was not perfectly cast for that movie, like in the Jack Reacher movies.
Hmm.
Like,
But
but if you want to see a really good portrayal of how Jack Reacher is, the series over on Amazon Prime with Alan Richson as Reacher, that is the type of um, uh, that. Now he's perfect because he's got the height, the build. He's just a badass. Edge of Tomorrow. That's the name of the movie.
yeah,
You know.
unlike but I know when like Warner Brothers decided to shift from Burton to Schumacher on that Batman series that might have been liked by some and hated by others. The
Mhm,
only continuity about that Batman series is they kept Pat Hingle and Michael Goetsch around
mhm.
for the roles of
Yeah.
Commissioner Gordon and Alfred Pennyworth.
Right. Right. Yeah. Um. But
Because fans love continuity in like
mhm,
franchises.
right. Oh yeah. Um. It's just but like, oh yeah, but you look at, but like going back to like voice actors, like some of the people like, that just make, like, okay, if you go back to like thinking Transformers and you hear the original Optimus Prime is Peter Cullen. Now, when they after the first original show, they came out with second show, which was produced by some company in Canada, and they brought in another guy named Gary Chalk to do the voice of Optimus Primal, which was like a descendant, and because it was Beast Wars, and he transformed into a lowland gorilla, and in the series because in their beast forms they weren't susceptible to like overexposure to the energon, that high levels of energon that would short them out, but and then you go to and then like the other shows that they did,
Hmm.
and then they brought them back for a lot of these shows, and oh, there's my kid, yeah. I'm trying to think.
Yeah,
These oh yeah, yeah. Oh, you could just say
John
this stuff. You don't have
Ratzenberger.
to. Right, right. John Ratzenberger. Yeah, I mean they always bring him in for some weird character for all those movies, for the
Yeah,
Pixar
yeah.
movies.
Like Pixar and Disney must have some sort of exclusive contract with him, and
Well, it's just they just bring him in because of his voice. I know just the way his voice is. Because like I remember him from The Incredibles and Incredibles 2 as the Underminer. Um,
yeah,
he was the Mac. He was Mac, the truck that hauled around
Cars.
uh, in Cars. Yeah, he was Lightning McQueen's truck.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
um, it's just you know.
On the
Uh,
School of Fish and Finding Nemo, he was
hmm
also Ham in the Toy Story movies.
Yeah, yeah.
And he was PT in A Bug's Life,
Hmm.
and he was the snow monster in Monsters Inc.
Right, right, right. Yeah. Um, but yeah, but then when they brought in well, and then after when they were casting the live action Transformers movies, they brought in Peter Cullen to do the voice of Optimus Prime. The thing that kind of it wasn't bad performance, which was Hugo Weaving as Megatron for the first two, and then they brought him back, Frank Welker for Megatron in another the next one after that.
Mhm.
Um, but
I think Frank Welker also did the voice of Astro in the Jetsons.
I would believe so. I don't know.
Well,
Yeah, we
and
gotta look him.
and I think, and I would imagine Frank Welker's probably also getting on up there in years too, along with
Oh
Frank
yeah,
Oz and a couple other notable voice talents that probably
yeah.
already well into their late 70s and
Oh
80s,
yeah.
are pushing 90 right about now.
So, um, yeah, he is 79. Uh, yeah,
So pushing
he's
80 in other
best known
words.
for doing Fred Jones from Scooby Doo since its inception in 1969, and then later he did Scooby Doo starting in 2002. So, um,
And I was pleasantly surprised that the voice of Shaggy was done by Casey Kasem,
mhm.
like the top 40 radio host who was
Yeah,
famous for the quote of "Keep your feet on the ground and keep reaching for the stars."
right, right. Uh, because him and Casey Kasem had actually both auditioned for opposite. Casey went for the role of Freddy, and Frank went for the voice of Shaggy. And uh, and yeah, and then they were like, "Wait, no, no, you guys got to do it this way." But I mean, you know,
Oh, it worked out perfectly.
yeah, and he's like, I think he's the only original Scooby Doo franchise actor that's
Still
uh,
alive.
well, he's the only original voice actor still involved. Um, he did like Jabberjaw, Dino Mutt, Dog Wonder, um, uh, God, what else was he in? Let's see. Oh, and the title character of Fang Face and this spin-off, Fang Face and Fang Puss, Heckle and Jekyll. Oh, and Quackula and the New Adventures of Mighty Mouse and Heckle and Jekyll, Spike, Tyke, Droopy, Slick Wolf, Barney Bear, and on the
Yeah.
Tom and Jerry show. Yeah, what else? Oh, he did Doctor Claw and Mad Cat on Inspector Gadget. Um,
Wow.
yeah.
I wonder if he made a cameo in the live action Inspector Gadget movie with Matthew Broderick and
Oh,
Rupert Everett.
I don't know. Um, he also did Wild Bill, uh, the Dreadnought Torch, and various other GI Joe's heroes and villains in GI Joe. He was Scooter in Challenge of the GoBots, Ray Stantz and Slimer in the Real Ghostbusters. Um, and let's see, and multiple voices on the Smurfs, like Hefty, Poet, Peewit, and yeah, I mean, he also did the voices or the characters that carried the for Santa's Little Helper and Snowball 2 in The Simpsons. Um,
Hmm.
oh, he also did what else? Let's see. I'm trying to look here. See, there's so many. Uh, oh, oh shoot. Okay, let's see. He did the voices for the whales in Free Willy 2, Shao Kahn and Reptile in the Mortal Kombat movie from 1985, the Penguins in Popper's Penguins, uh, Spock screams in Star Trek 3: The Search for Spock. Um, let's see. Uh, oh, he did George from the children's series Curious George. Um, and then when they did the second Garfield movie, he after Bill Murray left because after Lorenzo Music died. Um,
Um, and I know like some of like the voice actors like in like the Muppets and Sesame Street franchise. You had a lot of them like have longevity, like Carol Spinney and Jerry
mhm,
Nelson,
right.
and there was this one guy named Richard. He was there during the earlier seasons, but he sadly succumbed to the HIV/AIDS virus in the early '90s. And I know Jim Henson himself, and
Hmm.
then and then you have like newer like voice actors who've
Mm-hmm.
managed to like replicate those iconic voices like Matt Vogel,
Mm-hmm.
and then like Kevin Clash. He was a good voice artist until some like personal life dramas got him in trouble.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, like I mean, Frank Welker. If you've seen like just in Transformers alone, he voiced Megatron, Soundwave, Skywarp, Mixmaster, Rumble, Frenzy, Ravage, Ratbat, as well as the Autobots Mirage, Trailbreaker, and Sludge. And then he took on the role of
Yeah.
Wheelie in the movie. And then after Leonard Nimoy had done the role of voice of Galvatron in the movie, the Transformers movie from '86, he also took on that voice of Galvatron and also the characters of Chrome Dome and Pinpointer. I mean, and yeah, I mean, just uh, okay, and then I mean, it's just his filmography, just in voice. Uh, he did voices, the vocal for a Capuchin Monkey in Raiders of the Lost Ark. He did the barking for he did Cujo
Hmm.
in Gremlins. He was Stripe, Mowgli, and the Gremlins. I mean, let's see, GoBots. No, wait, no, Space Camp. He was Jinx the robot. Um, let's see, GI Joe the movie. He was Torch, Wild Bill, and then another character named Order. I mean, the man has like in it just his resume is crazy. He did the vocal sounds in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2, The Secret of the Use of Toka and Razor. You know, um, yeah, I mean, it's crazy. Just looking
Uh-huh.
at like his list, and I mean, he was the
Um,
aliens in Independence Day. He was in Mars Attacks, Space Jam. Um, let's see. Yeah, I
quite
mean,
a
God,
long list.
oh yeah. Um, How the Grinch Stole Christmas. He was the voice of Max, which is the dog. The
The
Powderpuff
2000 or
Girls movie,
2018 version.
2000.
Oh yeah, with Jim Carrey and Josh Ryan Evans.
Hmm. I mean, he was in Looney Tunes Back in Action as Scooby Doo. He's, I mean, yeah, let's see. Oh my God, yeah, there's so many. Oh, he was in Madagascar, Europe's Most Wanted, The Smurfs 2, as Azrael the cat, and The Smurfs of Lost Village. And then, yeah, just, uh, you know,
Um,
yeah.
and I think like on like this subject of like animated franchises getting like live action adaptations, like
Hmm.
I've even looked at YouTube videos of like maybe like what like a Magic School Bus live action adaptation would look like, and the consensus for the role of Miss Frizzle, I think people would be like Amy Adams would be perfect for that role
Hmm.
because of the bright red hair. Um,
Hmm.
but like in the casting on the live action Little Mermaid, even that I look at like Javier Bardem wasn't too bad as Triton, but I think the consensus would have been Liam Neeson and the role of Scuttle, even though Aquafina as Scuttle wasn't too bad, I would have thought they would have went with somebody more comedic like James Corden. And for the role of Prince Eric, had they not picked Jonah Howard King, I would have probably been that they. I bet who would be perfect? Like Shawn Mendes would have been great in that role.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, did you see that they're actually coming out with that live action Lilo and Stitch?
That they're working on that, yes. But I haven't. But I think it should be released either sometime later this year or next year.
Well, I just there's I think there's a hold on, let's see. Hold on.
I
Oh,
know they already had that live action Snow White,
2025. It's coming out yeah,
probably around like the
no, it actually
holidays.
no, May 23rd.
Oh, and just like shoot 2 3 months after Snow White.
Yeah. Snow White though was kind of that actually kind of bombed from what I
Yeah,
understand.
yeah, it was a real disappointment.
Mhm.
Um, Because I think Disney could have done better.
Mm. Yeah, I mean, um, and yeah, no, if you get a chance, yeah, I mean, the official trailer is actually up. It's supposed to come out on May 23rd. So, but yeah, I'd be willing to go see that in the theater because just just the little girl they got to play Lilo, she's adorable.
Oh yeah, I think it's a newcomer they were able to
Hmm.
find.
Yeah, yeah. I guess she's like doing she was like doing like hula competitions or something, and they'd seen a casting on TV in Hawaii for it,
Hmm.
and she was like, "I want to be an actor," and then her mom's like, "Okay, let's go," and they took her, and she got the job.
Oh,
So
she auditioned, yep, and
yeah,
won
she
it.
auditioned. She said she had to go like 15 times, I think, before she actually got the role. So,
Um, and like how like the young girl who played Carol Ann in like the Poltergeist movies, who sadly died young.
Heather Rourke.
Yeah, Heather O'Rourke. She was discovered like with her mom one day. They were eating lunch by Steven Spielberg himself, and he invited her to come in and audition, and she did, and like and and of course like she had to like practice screaming, to the point it brought
Hmm.
her to tears, and
Right.
then um and then she won the role of like Carol Ann.
Hmm.
But in that third and final movie, like right before she died, I mean, I know
Yeah.
it was hard seeing her look so swelled because of the medication she was on, and she was like
Uh-huh.
misdiagnosed as having Crohn's disease when she had a blocked intestine.
Hmm. Yeah. Well, well, I was like, yeah, that was sad. I mean, I was God. Well, hold on, yeah.
I was only 4 years old when her and Judith Barzey died. And Judith
Oh,
Barzey,
Judith
she was just
Barzey,
10.
yeah. Yeah, I
That
know.
really sad story. Her and her mother were like shot and killed. Then the dad tried to burn the house down, and he blew his brains out.
Hmm.
And I know they're like among like other child actors who died very young, like the
Right.
little boy in Mary Poppins, he died
Yeah.
young. And then a
Right.
lot of the Little Rascals kids died young.
Hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, like
No.
from like the Little
Mhm.
Rascal shorts in the back during the
Uh-huh.
30s.
Yeah. Well, the Carl Switzer who played
Alfalfa.
S- Alfalfa, I mean, he died. He got shot. You know.
I think there might be only one original cast member still alive, and I think he's in his like 90s, like pushing
Mhm.
100.
Right. But
But I
yeah,
can't think of.
no.
But it's a Jew. It's a gentleman. It's not a female. But
Hmm.
I know we'd have to look that up, like an original Little Rascals actor, like our gang, what they called it too.
Hmm.
Like that might still be
Hmm.
alive, but they might not be an original cast member. But they're a part of
Hmm.
that franchise that still lives on, like
Hmm.
like in film archives that have been digitally remastered.
Hmm. Yeah. Um. Yeah. I mean. Yeah. That was just sad with Heather O'Rourke. I'm telling you. You know.
Yeah,
I was actually. I was a junior in high school. So. Um. But yeah. I mean. You
and
think about.
she just had so much potential.
Right. You know. Um. But yeah. No. Just. Oh. I.
Um,
Yeah. It's
I know
just.
that one really kind of hurts our hearts.
Yeah. I mean. Who else was there? No, but yeah, yeah, just any child dying young, just it sucks. I mean, she was only like what 12 years old, I think, at the
Hmm.
time. So and like you
She
said,
turned 12
Judith
like the
Barzey,
previous December,
yeah,
and
like
Judith
yeah,
Barzey was
Judith Barzey
10.
was then, yeah. So, um,
And
but
the thing that really caught me about like Judith Barzey, like a couple years before she died, she was like in a guest star appearance in the show Cagney and Lacey with Tyne Daly, and I think her character was a child that was like in the Child Protective Services system,
mm-hmm,
and not and then by looking at her face, you could really tell that you could really just feel the sadness about her not being a happy child.
right, yeah,
Like
and
and oftentimes you have parents who put push their kids, into showbiz, whether their kids want to be in it or not,
Right.
because like it's like they see dollar signs, and and the only downside about the entertainment industry is they're known for exploiting people.
Hmm. Yeah,
I
I
mean,
mean,
you look at some of the
uh,
reality competition shows in primetime nowadays, like the Bachelor and Bachelorette franchise to
mhm,
Survivor and Big Brother,
right.
and you'd probably think that some of these shows, like having like lesser known people, it's almost like Sally Jesse Raphael, Jenny Jones, Maury Povich, Geraldo Rivera, and Jerry Springer on steroids.
Yeah. Oh God. Well, no, I mean, you look at those. What is it? Oh, the shows, and I hate to say it, a lot of those like reality shows, like that, are just garbage. They're like a lot of it's like predetermined. You look at how they just exploited
Mm-hmm.
people. I mean, look at Teen Mom. I mean, the people that used to work on that show are like, you know, like,
Toddlers and
hey,
Tiaras is another one
well,
too.
yeah, oh yeah, and then here comes Honey Boo Boo. You know.
And then 90 Day Fiance,
Mhm.
because
Well, yeah, but like no, the one like the Teen Mom ones and stuff,
oh
there
yeah,
were like people that worked on the crew that were like, yeah, they wanted to literally, report these people to fucking child services because um, they were it
and
was
law
like
enforcement, yeah,
dirty and disgusting and you know conditions that these people lived in. We just had one here in Wisconsin. I think it was here in Wisconsin. Yeah, no, actually here in my city. Um, there was a mother who just got like child endangerment because the house was dirty. It was like cluttered and garbage strewn everywhere. And her two kids slept in a bedroom next to two dead dogs that were
Jesus
just died in the
Christ,
bedroom. Yeah. Oh yeah.
oh my
Uh.
lord.
Yeah. I mean, hold on. Let's see.
um
Uh. Um.
you know
Oh yeah. Here we go. Let's see. Is that the one? Yeah.
because nor
Well.
like if you
Yeah.
were to be like a participant on one of them reality competition shows, you would probably have to go through like a lengthy like vetting process, like is Hugh Janus like somebody we want on this show, with like 11 or 12 other people that he doesn't know in real life.
Right. Well, a lot of that shit is like pre-scripted, predetermined. But
Well,
you
because
know,
I know they're going to look for people who have like real like over the top engaging personalities,
right,
because they want
right,
somebody with a persona that can
right.
that can bring
Oh
viewers
yeah.
in.
Well, look at like what's that old MTV show? Not Road Rules. Oh God. Oh, no, I can't remember. But one of the wrestlers in WWE, Michael Mizanin, he goes by the Miz. He was on one of those shows, and and he just like, he would walk around like, yeah, if I was a wrestler, my name would be the Miz, and blah blah blah,
Hey,
and
old man.
and oh, hey,
Um,
old man.
but like Sally Jesse Raphael also talked about not liking the direction that her talk
Hmm.
show took in the last few years of its run, and she pointed out like like her like the big bosses who distribute her show, that
Right,
she didn't really think it was great broadcasting to be taking people who are less educated than you are,
right,
or different skin color, race, nationality, or ethnicity, sexual orientation, what have you, or having
right.
physical, mental, or intellectual handicap, or mental illness, and then just and 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 they make these people appear foolish. And like,
Oh
what kind
yeah,
of message are you sending to your audience? Like, especially, what kind of message are you sending to young kids?
yeah. No, yeah. I mean, but
But then the producers are adamant, but it sells, even if like the host who is responsible for that show is like, I really don't want to do that.
right. Hey, old man, if you want to come up and join us, you're more than welcome. Um, it's just me and Eric. We're just kind of jabbering. So, uh, oh, unless
Well, looking
Grammy's
forward to Monday
sleeping.
morning.
Yeah, yeah. You were telling me about that earlier. But yeah, unless Grammy's sleeping, you don't want to disturb Grammy because that's the last thing you want to do. Um, But um, it's just a lot of see that's the thing about reality TV is a lot of it is just kind of garbage. I mean, even the like, people are like, "Oh my God, Kim Kardashian! Oh my God, we get to see into her life." It's all scripted because yeah, a lot of these people that do these shows will tell you, that like they work on the shows, um, that every little thing from behind the scenes, like there's a guy came out, and I know a lot of people are big fans of Donald Trump. I myself am not, but that's a whole point for another freaking day. Um,
No.
and I can't come out to say I wanted to
Well,
stop in and share and follow.
and
Ah,
and I
thanks,
look
old
at it
man.
and I look at it
Well,
too with some of these like
yeah.
reality shows. Like, it's like they have you thinking that these people like are competing in these like voluntarily,
Hmm.
and the person who's there at the very end who wins the $1 million prize, and
Right.
then the others, it's almost like they go home with nothing. But clearly they're getting paid something
Yeah.
because like I couldn't imagine you or me or the old man or anybody going on them shows and doing it voluntarily, because especially if they're going to be putting us on TV, we would expect some sort of residual payment.
Well, yeah. I'm sure, people are getting paid. They're getting something, some kind of compensation for that stuff. But no,
Being
there's
away from their
somebody.
family and friends and being away from
Right.
their
Right.
jobs.
Right. Well, that's like there's a guy that he used to work on The Apprentice, and and they literally said, like, he would say, yeah, they were going to try and do the show in Trump Tower, but they said that the his boardroom, or the room they were going to use for the show, was so gaudy looking that they literally just built a set at the studio for him to
Hmm.
use. You know, I mean, and they tried to make it appear like he was already a billionaire at the time. You know, I mean, the shows, you ask these people who worked on these shows, they will literally tell you a lot of it's all scripted. Like the
Hmm.
Kardashians, that was scripted. I mean, any of these shows, and not all of
They
them
wanted to
are
look
like
good for
that.
TV.
Right. I mean, Jerry Springer. Now you see these like people, oh yeah, me and
Shout
my
out to
sister,
Rena,
we got married. Yeah, right. Shout out to Rena, right?
because
it's
she
like,
worked as a producer on that show at one time.
right. Um, well, a friend of mine was actually, her and her husband had a really complicated relationship, and they were actually on the show because at the time,
Really?
yeah, and her and her husband's new girlfriend. Oh yeah, he came out like wearing a dog collar, and this new woman was like a very very large woman, and came out with like holding her on a leash. And I said, wait, I was like, isn't that all that shit scripted? And
Well,
she was like, "Oh,
and them
that one
courtroom shows are
wasn't."
scripted too.
Well, yeah, I mean,
I know of
it,
somebody who really went on that show. It was my cousin's ex
mm,
partner's mother. She was like the
mm,
plaintiff, and then she had like sued somebody, and it was like Judge Joe Brown show of all shows. And that
right.
Judge Joe Brown, I mean, put this lady in her place. but but then um, but then she wound up sending this guy to prison long after that show was recorded.
Right. Oh
True
yeah.
story.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No. You know. It's just yeah. The reality shows, most of all that stuff is it's basically it's like any regular TV show you'd watch on TV. It's scripted. You know, and
Because like them courtroom shows like Judge Judy and the People's Court, like, and in a real life courtroom, a judge and like the litigants sitting at the plaintiffs and the defendants table, and the bailiff and the people
right,
sitting
right,
in the gallery, they've got to conduct themselves with decorum. but
right.
but but like Judge Mills Lane, when he was around, you wouldn't have
Oh
a Judge holler shut up off the top of his lungs,
yeah,
or
I
or
loved I loved Mills Lane when he was doing the announcer
he was
gimmick for
refereeing for like Mike Tyson
uh,
and Evander Holyfield.
but he was also did it for Celebrity Deathmatch on MTV when they do the little claymation stuff.
Oh yeah.
Oh, oh yeah, yeah. Oh God, yeah. Let's get it
uh,
on.
um yeah and then or people like Judge Judy, like she might kind of because basically when Judge Judy's doing her courtroom shows, she's got to put on a judge performance that's
Hmm.
good for TV, or people are not going to
Right.
tune in. But in a real
Right.
life courtroom setting, she's got to have decorum.
Right. I mean, yeah, they're gonna, flame it up for, flame it
To
up
get
for like
ratings.
TV. Right. Yeah. I mean, look at Judge Judy, that woman. Oh my God. She was, she was, she was good. I mean, I loved the attitude.
And I think the
Even though a lot of
the,
it I
the
know was
best TV
probably
judge was Judge
scripted.
Wapner.
Oh yeah, Judge Wapner. Yeah. Hmm. Those old school like TV personalities that that you saw back in the day. Like when you think about it, like Julia Child on TV, or
Oh, I
uh,
loved her cooking shows.
yeah, and then the one that I loved was Justin Wilson.
Oh yeah,
When
he
you,
was funny.
oh yeah, I guarantee. The funny thing is my grandfather kind of looked like Justin Wilson when he got older. Yeah, not as heavy set, but I mean just in his facial features. And it's scary because I always used to think as I was growing up, my dad kind of looked like Bluto from Popeye. Yeah. Oh, him
Well,
and my uncles. You know.
Well, and I know, and then like and then like people who like appear on TV and movies, like
Hmm.
like there was like a South Florida television newscaster, Ann Bishop, who oftentimes talked about like her not working with consultants because
Hmm.
she was like an old school journalist long before podcasts and the internet and what have you and
Hmm.
streaming,
Right.
and she didn't always like looking at video clips of herself or listening to audio clips of her talking.
Hmm.
But she'd said in a 1985 interview that if she'd had like a consultant, like because like it could be like you would develop like annoying habits, like leaning to the right too much, and one thing she said in this interview is it would help if she had somebody who could point out bad habits to her. That way she could try and stop it because we engage in bad habits like blindly and don't
Hmm.
oftentimes realize we're doing it until somebody points it
Right.
out to us.
Right.
And a reason why she didn't like listening to audio clips of herself talking or seeing video clips of her in action is and I kind of feel for her in that way too because like in a way like I don't always listen to audio clips of me talking and or always look at video clips of me in action because like I've always at
You're
first I felt
always
like
your harshest critic.
yeah because like when I would hear myself talk on audio, I think, does that really sound like me? Um, and like I know I'm some people like me, and even our friend Russ over at Outside Normal will talk about
Right.
not always listening to playbacks of his audio shows.
Hmm.
It might be like we always we kind of have that self conscious feeling like we wish we like looked and sounded better, but then like there's that one actor who died. He was in the Mrs. Doubtfire movie as the bus driver, but that's the way God made you.
Hmm. Yeah. I mean, most people are not gonna like the way they sound. Oh yeah, yeah, like the old man. Yeah, I listen back to all my shows. Yeah. Oh yeah. No, I mean, back in the day. Now, mind you, back when me and my brother would had actually done our own. We had our own internet radio station way back in '04. Back when but you also had to do it. It's a little more uh involved. I mean, I think I heard somebody mention on some one of the shows how they used to use Sam Broadcaster for you broadcast on a shoutcast stream. I think it was
Uh-huh.
on the old man show on Monday. Um, and
You might be thinking about DJ Taz.
yeah, he was talking
Oh,
about
he's
that. I
awesome.
mean, yeah, and and I heard him talking about, Sam. I mean, I still have a licensed copy of Sam on a flash drive with the registration code from back in like 2000. I think my brother had it in a 10 license agreement for he had got it because he was friends with the guy who developed the software for it. But you also had to pay for like your shoutcast stream, and you had to pay for how many listeners you were able to have at any one time. We had, yeah, we were averaging like like 200 to 300 people a day tuning in the radio station, but we also had it split up into, different things. Like, there was a couple kids who I'm still friends with today that, for like, like going on 2 decades now. And they both uh, were 15 at the time, and they both like, like rock and metal and, little punk music. And then we also had a girl who came on. She did a whole like 2 hour long show with nothing but country. But we had a constant lineup of people to DJ for us, which we all did as a hobby. My brother paid for the stream and the website, and out of his own pocket, and nobody got paid, and all we wanted to do was play music. Yeah, and you got to be careful of that, because a lot of times, like, and I think old man mentioned this on his show on Monday
Right,
about,
Spotify,
falling under, well, no, falling out, coming under, the websites, or
like the
the
copyright thing.
providers. Well, the provider, being, the like when you play music, you have to be careful, because you actually have to pay for licensing to play that music. And a lot
And
of these sites, you probably shouldn't be streaming actual music unless you own it, because the
or you're
register,
paying
like,
like a license,
well, licensing
$150 a year
fee.
for a license.
Well, yeah, I mean, there's one place out there for a while that I was helping a guy run his internet radio stations about a decade ago, where he actually paid this place $75 a year, and he was part of their network, and his show would fall under their license. And they had a bunch of different like little radio stations that were set up to, um
Uh huh.
you know for so they would all fall under the umbrella of that license, which actually was kind of nice, because we had our first station up for about 6 months, until my brother ended up getting a letter from the Recording Industry Artists of America, the RIAA, and then also from CSAC, which is one of the biggest license holders for artists. They're one of the bigger groups that produce these artists, and they sent us a letter basically saying we had to shut our station down and not play any music or
A
any
cease and
songs, or we
desist
would get,
order.
basically, yeah, a cease and desist order, that we had to quit playing the music that their artist made, or they were going to have us fined $10,000 a day.
Yeah.
It was crazy. And then we thought we had everything under control and thought everything was good. And we tried it again. We lasted almost, I think, about 9 months the second time. And of course, the licensing kind of thing fell through. And, we got another cease and desist letter under a different radio station name that we were using. But yeah, um, I don't know. I kind of miss like some of the old school, podcasting uh, formats that I have used over the years. Excuse me. Um, like, I think they had mentioned Blog Talk Radio. And
Um,
I loved the format of Blog Talk. I had a show on there for, God, I was doing like, and it was kind of, I did it as, it was because I don't know if either one of you guys, like you or the old man sitting there. I know the old man might not know, but there's a platform on your it's kind of a virtual world called Second Life, and I used to do and it's kind of like, just imagine, kind of like, you all know what The Sims is, right? The Sims, where you play your little character, you build your
oh
houses, dress
yeah.
them up, yeah. Basically, we would call Second Life was basically The Sims on crack, because you can actually make money in that game when I first started. And that was 20 years ago. Um, and I only refer to it as a game because there's really no reasonable way to explain it, but or no easier, better, for lack of a better term. You could actually literally make money in in this virtual world. There's a woman in Second Life who actually made $1 million US because of this online virtual world by renting and selling land in the game. She made literally $1 million.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Yeah, but I mean the way she went about it was kind of shady because she would like rope in these like gentlemen to be like, hey, you and I, we can buy this land. And then what she would do is when the land was like doing really well, like because in Second Life you can literally like rent land, like if you want to build something, and building in that game is just crazy, crazy. I mean, if let's say you're saying, you know what, I'm going to build my own version of the Millennium Falcon and turn it into a home that I can live in Second Life. And oh yeah,
See Monday
all right.
morning.
Thanks for stopping in there, old man. Thanks. Have a good night. Get some sleep. Um, and it just they would, you wanted to build a Millennium Falcon and turn it into a home, you could. Um, you could and you if you wanted to design clothes, you could use like outside editing programs and make these clothes so that way you could literally sell them inside the virtual world. You'd have a place, you'd set up a store, people would come in and literally spend their real world money on in-game currency so they could buy stuff from you. I mean, it was crazy. And it's still going today. They and then there's a lot of things that are like, um they would we did there a lot of like role playing things in there too. I mean, yeah, most of them are pretty clean, good hearted stuff. Like, um, there was like Star Wars role play in there where literally you could buy, or if you were, you know, so inclined, you could create your own stuff for Star Wars, like lightsabers, blasters that, when you hit somebody,
Uh
you
huh.
take damage. Or when somebody gets hit, they take damage. And, eventually, if you shot them enough times, kind of like playing a video game. Um, they also do wrestling role play in there. I
Uh huh.
actually did that for God, like almost 10 years in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, you would go sit down, like they'd set up your match. It's kind of like, uh, uh, yeah. Well, uh, well, yeah. Well, I got
I
still
guess
got.
you. Well,
I seen
because
your little note
I know
down
you
there.
got to
Yeah.
watch the countdown clock.
Well, yeah. No, I started it. About 10 o'clock my time, and it is now.
So that was
Uh,
probably about 11. So it's 12:39 here.
so about 20 minutes we got. So before we'll have to bounce out of here, but um.
Because like I said, I don't want you to be caught off guard.
Oh, no, no,
But
no,
you'll
no.
get a
I'm
2 minute
watching the
warning
timer.
though.
Yeah, I'm watching the timer. So up in the corner here. But when yeah, like the wrestling thing, you and they'd set up a match, you and the person that you were wrestling with, you would sit there and literally plan out how your match would go and put it on a card, on a in-game note card that you would send in to uh the people who were doing the commentary for the show, and they would be on live voice in game or in the world as you're doing your moves. Like my character was, it's really weird. My guy looks like, at the time, he kind of looked like he had a China or Japanese name. He looked kind of like he was Mexican, and my name and it sounds like me. Totally freaked out. But I mean, my
Uh huh.
character was named. He was Ranma Yoshiro, and he was like 7'2", which I'm only like 6'2" in real life, and he weighed 275 pounds, and a bunch of his moves were, based on moves that basically someone his size shouldn't be able to do, but it worked, you know. So, I mean, I did that in there. I mean, there's still wrestling. There's a ton of wrestling federations in there that still do a bunch of stuff like that. They've been doing it, and I haven't done it in almost. Well, no, wait, no, I wrestled for like 8 years, and then I literally, basically, because of my work schedule, I retired and just stopped doing it like about almost 10 years ago. So, oh no, about 8 years ago maybe.
Hmm.
So, you know, um, it's just, yeah, it's crazy. Uh, it's just a lot of people, but the amount of commitment to put into that, but you know, um, yeah, but like I miss like some of the older podcasting platforms. Like when I was doing the wrestling thing, um, for about 4 years, I literally did a show based
Hmm.
on Second Life and the wrestling scene. Like I would do like recaps of shows. People would send me, I had like four people who would literally send me note cards filled with, oh, so and so did this and this and this, and then I would like go through, and read off the results from all
Uh-huh.
these different shows during the week. And I did it on Blog Talk Radio. And Blog Talk, oh God, because you could you I would like do the show.
Yeah.
And people from inside Second Life, I'd put up a link in like one of the chat groups, and they could go and they would listen on the website. And it actually, because at the time you actually got a New York phone number that people could literally just call in if they wanted to come in, talk on the show. Um,
Uh,
and the last show I did, it was funny because somebody had managed to take the number and leaked it over onto 4chan. And these just trolls from 4chan came on the show. They're like, "Hey, uh, they'd be like, or they were just bagging me about, and it was all stupid shit like childish, you know,
yeah.
uh, oh hey, hey, oh yeah, do you
Um,
suck cock, and shit like that, you know,
or
and it got to
or
be so
or they'd
annoying.
probably think, or they'd probably make statements like, are y'all smoking some serious crack or something?
Mm.
Well, you know
No,
what
they
Whitney
just
Houston
wanted
would
to
say
troll
about,
us.
yeah.
Well, they
But
they
but
just wanted to
but if
troll
they
us,
want to
yeah.
say that anybody's been smoking crack, you know what Whitney Houston would say? Crack
Mm.
is whack.
Uh, Actually, that was Dave Chappelle, I think.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
but
Crack
I've
is a
like I've
whack.
like I've been like a participant on like the Podbean Live podcast since late March, early April of 2020. So this year is 5 years for me,
Yeah.
and I know this Podbean Live has been quite revolutionary, and then the old man has been around for like about 5.5 years because he originally started on his son's Dreadnought 928 podcast. And then
Right.
I know when I first came on here, I remember seeing like his like the old man's podcast. I remember seeing Nonsense Password and the Raw Report, Lyrical Laxatives, as well as the Ralph William podcast, and
Hmm.
um, and I remember seeing like the Obscure Curio, but some of them kind of went away. John DeVito, he was there for a while, and then the
They
Slightly
just
Serious
kind
Show, and
of,
then
fizzled out.
something like that, and some of them migrated over to like video platforms like Twitch, and then
Hmm.
then we've had some other like content creators come and go who turned out to be real doozies, like VOP USA Radio, and
Hmm.
some of them were just not really who we thought they were. They because like when they were not on the podcast, they were they kind of you had some people who
Turned
turned out
into
to be real
douche
shady.
canoes.
Yeah, some of them turned out to be also real shady,
Mm.
like the Two Dumbasses podcast that was here for a while, and then some like because some right wing nut job named Dark Bear when he was here.
Hmm.
Um,
Oh yeah,
and
yeah.
then
You always gonna get something like that, like like
but
and
then you have some other like entertainment shows like Substance
oh
for
yeah.
Days, the
Hmm.
Potluck Podcast, the Beans and Weenie Show, and then
Right.
and I know you probably gonna have some people on Podbean who who are entertained by like the beefs and conflicts and what have you, which I know some
Right.
people could just do without that.
Well,
And then and I know that politically you're kind of like left leaning, and I don't know if you've heard of Solid Blue Sister's show, My Turn to Talk, and if you've been in any of her shows or downloaded some of her past episodes.
hmm. No, I don't think I've been in that one yet, but I'll have to check it
Um,
out.
I'm sure you'll probably search search for her show later, and I guess
Mm.
see if there's like
Yeah.
any like past episodes of hers you might like, or
Right.
whether you might try
Well,
to jump into
yeah. If you
hers.
get a chance, just drop a link on to me on Discord, and then yeah, I'll
I
check
can
it
let
out.
you know something, but unlike I normally
Right.
don't get to frequent her shows because I normally
Right.
frequent shows like Substance for Days and Crash and Burn and the Old
Right.
Man's Podcast and
Oh, okay.
Cindy and Russ
Right. Well,
and
that's
Brett's
like
podcast.
right. Well, and I know, like listen to a lot of these shows. A lot of these guys are, right leaning. Some of these, I mean, I get, and you know what, and
Uh,
it's just, and like I tell people, it's not that I'm either left or right. I'm not Democrat or Republican. I just, it's just, you can learn a lot about like, whoever,
like the kind of people they are.
well, you just like, I mean, like, and like I tell people, people are like thinking, oh yeah, Donald Trump, and I'm not trying to bag on anybody. I know you said you voted for Trump, and I don't fault you for that. You
Well,
voted for
well,
who you believed in. You
because
know,
like politically for me, like I tend to mostly identify as independent because
hmm
I just don't believe in the hard left and hard right extremes.
right,
I might lean slightly in either direction, but I'm not. But
right.
I'm not going to take it to the extreme, like and be
You're
vile, like say like Jasmine Crockett or AOC or Marjorie Taylor Greene or Matt Gates.
right. I mean, but it's just that it, people were like even back in the day. Now my brother and my mom are both literally registered Republicans now,
Hmm.
and the first two times they both voted for Trump. And when Donald Trump ran back in 2015 when he was started his bid for president, and my brother kept like just like, oh yeah, this and that and this and that. I'm like, dude, how can you say that he's such a great businessman when the proof is right there? I mean, the man, anything that man has ever put his name on has failed. And you look at it: Trump Airlines, Trump Shuttle, Trump Steaks, Trump Vodka, Trump University, all the casinos that he'd had that have all been bankrupted. The man filed bankruptcy 6 times. Everybody's trying to think that he's such a great businessman, but you also got to look into all the times that he stiff contractors. There was a
Well,
story going around where a guy he was friends with this contractor, and the guy
hmm
calls him up and he goes, hey, I got this really good job offer for like $3 million, but it's for Donald Trump. And the guy his friend goes, hey, don't do it. You'll get screwed. But the guy ended up taking it anyway. He did the job that was in the contract. When it was done, Trump and his lawyers fought that said that he didn't do things the way they were specified, and they fought and fought in court, and the guy spent so much money in court. When it got down to it, Trump's company said, "Well, we're not going to give you 3 million; we'll give you 1.3 million." And the guy's like, "Fine, I'll take it." He took the money,
settled.
ended up closing down his company, sold off all of his equipment, made sure that all of his all of his employees, all the contractors that he got material from were paid off, made sure everything was paid off free and clear, and then the gentleman went home and then took a gun and put it in his mouth and killed himself because he got screwed over that bad,
Well
lost
then,
everything.
and then, and I know even Trump like pointed out when he was asked about it, like he he pointed out like he was exploiting the same legal loopholes and tax codes that other lobbyists use, which I'm really not in agreement with those shady practices either, because even our members of Congress, Republican or Democrat, could change the laws, but they won't do it because they love getting money from those lobbyist friends.
Yeah, see, that's the one thing that I despise is lobbyists, and the
But
lobbying
but
of political
but legally
officials
they're
needs to
entitled
be
to do that,
removed. But they need to stop that. That's the
or there
biggest
needs to be
problem.
conditions put in place that they can't get rid of it.
Well, I mean, look what happened with here in Wisconsin, and I don't care. People know. I tell everybody where I'm from. Here in Wisconsin, there was uh, just recently an election for Supreme Court justice. Now it's between um, this guy Brad Schimmel, Republican, and the Democratic candidate was Susan Crawford. Now, now even with Elon Musk, I mean, the guy gave him like donated like $25 million or something into or $2 million or something maybe, or was it 25 million, one of the two. But he was
Mhm.
pumping so much money in, and the only reason is because here in Wisconsin there is an actual law that no automotive company can have any dealerships that are directly owned by the company. It has to be a third party. It has to be sold by a third party. That's why here you'll get, like in a lot of places you'll go, oh yeah, look, it's Maverick Chevrolet, or you know you know independent Dodge Chrysler Jeep.
Um,
I mean, it's
mhm.
it's like, you know dealerships are owned by independent.
They're like franchisees, in other words.
Right, kind of. Yeah. But
Um, and I know when it comes to
but
campaign
Elon Musk,
finance,
but Elon Musk wanted them to try. He figured if he could get Brad Schimmel elected, that he could get him in the Supreme Court here in Wisconsin, in the state Supreme Court, to change the rules so he could open up dealerships here. Because
yeah,
if you want a Tesla here, you have to actually go down across the border into Illinois to get one. And now, mind you, like here, it's not where I live in Wisconsin. Now I just live just south of Milwaukee,
uh huh.
so it's like you want to go down into
Hey,
Illinois.
Mr. Ray,
Hey, what's happening? If you go down
where's Daddy
across the
Hoffman? We
border,
need him, like your fellow Wisconsinite.
yeah,
But the thing, and another thing I would point out about campaign finance reform, like 15 years ago in 2010, the Supreme Court had a case called Citizens United versus the Federal Elections Commission. In that
Mhm.
case, basically pertained to like campaign finance, and the ruling turned out that like Democrat and Republican politicians can get like unlimited like donations from foreign and domestic entities, which
Mm.
and I'm on like the side of like Republicans and Democrats like Russ Feingold. I'm sure you're familiar with him, and
Oh
John
yeah, yeah, yeah,
McCain,
yeah.
Olympia Snowe, and Donna
Right.
Edwards,
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
which questioning like what was the Supreme Court thinking.
Yeah. I don't know, but
And Olympia Snowe of Maine described that as a serious disservice to our country, and then because there was also like that McCain Feingold Act that basically that court ruling basically you know resulted in the McCain Feingold Act going up in flames
mm,
and or smoke.
yeah, I know, but um,
But that's probably a
yeah, it's
discussion
just
for another day, I guess.
yeah. Well, yeah, but it's just and it's a lot of it. I people just like I don't understand. Like, well, like I said, with like certain things, like you know even when like the election was going on this past year, and everybody was like, oh, this and that, and Donald Trump going to do this, and a lot of it, like, yeah, if you start like looking into like the actual news reports of what's going on now, they're actually deporting, like he literally just told people, he goes, yeah, if there's like homegrown people, actual Americans, then and I wouldn't be opposed to sending them to that prison in El Salvador, was it? Or yeah, in El Salvador, where they're sending these immigrants and stuff. Okay, no, that's and they're not even. And a lot of times they're. Did you hear about? They just arrested that judge here in Milwaukee, up in Milwaukee.
Yeah, and
Uh,
then I think one somewhere else.
mhm.
I don't know if it's New Mexico or somewhere
Yeah.
else.
Well, yeah, they just arrested her because they came in with some warrant that isn't even actually a warrant. She's like, wait a minute, you're not allowed to just come into my court and take whoever you want. And then what happens? Yeah, because I mean, and then what, the FBI arrested her. Yeah, they have, and that should be illegal for them to be able to just go in and arrest her like that. But you know, I mean, she's following these people. It just seems like like they tell like Donald Trump is being told by the Supreme Court, and all these justices, which five out of five what was it, five out of the nine literally voted saying, hey, you need to bring back that one guy. He still deserves due process. You know, and they're bypassing it and say, "Oh, we can't do anything. He's now down in whatever in El
Right.
Salvador," and it's and now he belongs in El Salvador. Wait a minute. They're trying to and they keep trying to say, "Oh, he was an MS-13 member," and the thing is the picture they keep showing is literally a doctored picture of him with MS-13 on his knuckles. I mean, it's just there's way too much, I mean, and the whole the term, and I'm like, I told everybody, you know what? I can't tell people, I can't if I can't convince somebody, just having a discussion, because then they get superheated. Because if you go against what someone else really truly hardcore believes, they're not going to change. I mean, I just like there's one lady I was talking to and she voted for Trump. And I said, but where do you get your news? And they stick to places like Fox News, Right Side Broadcasting, OAN, um, and whatever Mike My Pillow is putting off on online. And I said, if you wanna just try listening to something else. Don't just constantly believe them, because I mean, I hate to say it, Fox News is kind of a joke. Because if you look, they're not even listed technically as a news organization. They're listed as an entertainment company. But it is what it is. You know, like I tell people, if you want to, like broad don't just listen to one side. Just take the time to listen to both. Like I tell people, I'm not a Democrat, I'm not a Republican. I listen to
You
both
know,
sides, and I will choose a candidate who who can make me believe that what they're selling me aligns with you know uh aligns with what I believe in, I mean, if it's a Republican, hey, whatever, you know uh oh, News Nation, yeah, oh yeah,
I know
News
they
Nation
have Bill
America.
O'Reilly and Geraldo Rivera there, and they even have
Yeah,
some liberals there like Ashley Banfield and Chris Cuomo,
right.
Elizabeth Vargas.
But like I tell people, you want to listen. Like, I mean, I don't know how many podcasts people listen. We got like just under 2 minutes here. Um, but if you want to listen and kind of, you know, see something from the other, from like the other side of the aisle, the other side of the spectrum, check out the Midas Touch Network on YouTube. Um, I mean, their podcast literally is now the number one podcast, and beating out like the likes of like Joe Rogan, who was number one for like forever. And they built this network up over the last 4 years. And they're like getting close to like 5 million subscribers in 4 years on YouTube and across Spotify and stuff. Um, I tell people, hey, if you want to listen and get some, just a way, and listen, because they've been getting a lot of senators and congressmen on there and stuff like that. Just the Midas touch. I mean, yeah, it's kind of like what's the other one, TYT, who some of the hosts are okay, but yeah, but the Midas touch, it's a pretty good little
Like
podcast. But
there, I know there's like a liberal guy I regard as a friend. Like
mhm,
like I've never really actually like experienced him like talk openly about politics in front of
mhm,
me, and I've
right.
never talked politics in front of him either.
Well, we got 20 seconds, so
But I know you're probably getting about ready to have to shut this down,
yeah, we got 10 seconds. So thanks for coming on, Eric. I'll let you know
and
when
your
we'll do one
closing
again
line, of
soon.
course.
And of course, hey everybody, have a good night and go fuck yourself. Peace out.
Have a great weekend.